Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! It's 2022, live with the Gail
and Tammy show.
We're back. We're better than ever. It's a new year.
Mm-hmm.
We're all refreshed. And with a new year comes a new
attitude.
I was going to say format to the show. And what is that new format to the show? What are we doing?
So, way cool this year, you're getting to meet the inner workings of On With Life.
Ooh, like we're going into the dark, deep depths of the organization, and you're going to get to meet a whole bunch of cool people.
Yeah, really though, it's we're going on the road.
On the road again.
And we're going to get to meet the people from all of our programs and all of our different departments. Over the next month or so, you're going to see different segments.
Right, but still educational, still a lot of information, still talking about resources that are available.
It's
so
just
those
meeting
are
the other experts.
But meeting different people within our organization. So cool, really cool and excited about that. So our first one that's coming up here is our, we talked about our new IT guy.
Yeah.
Now listen, everybody knows how important IT is, because right now we would not function without our IT, which is, I don't even know, informational technology. What is that? That's a question for him. I don't know.
That sounds like it'd
something
be
like that.
Appropriate.
Computers, phones,
internet,
digital, data, all that stuff. So he's coming up next, we're gonna meet him, and he's gonna tell you all about himself, and we're gonna learn more about him as well.
Yeah, the number one thing we're gonna learn about him is how to pronounce his last name,
because it's
so there's a reason we just are gonna call him Dave.
Dave from IT,
because it's a tricky one.
All right. Up next, we'll meet Dave from IT.
That's right.
All right, we're back.
Yay, we're back with Dave
the IT guy.
And the first question we have to ask you, Dave, is how do you say your last name?
The last name is pronounced Hjalmquist.
John.
But it
starts with an H.
Yes, that is true. But I like to confuse people, so we pronounce the J. Honestly, it's Swedish, so technically you could pronounce it with a Y as a Hjalmquist, which is the way it was.
Hjalmquist.
So I have relatives that pronounce it Hjalmquist.
Okay.
My part of the family pronounces it Hjalmquist, so the H is silent. Yes.
Okay.
Regardless, he's just Dave, the IT guy. When I call, I'm like, Dave H. Hi, Dave. I need help.
Well, it's easy to find in the directory, HJ. You can't find
it. You can't, unless you think it's a Y, and then you can't find Dave Hjalmquist. Like I take it on that. Yeah. Okay, so that's your last name. Got that out of the way.
So Dave, kind of our new series for the year is we're getting to know different people in different departments around On With Life. So we're taking the Gail and Tammy show on the road.
Awesome.
Yes.
Through the organization. A little journey through the organization.
So first and foremost, tell us a little bit about you. Like, when did you actually come to On With Life? Like, how long have you been here? Just give us a snippet about you.
Sure. I've been here 7 months, a little over 7 months now.
Really? It's only been 7 months?
Yes, it has.
Wow. It feels like longer than that.
Well, the time has flown
but it's
by.
Been good.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be here. Very happy to be here, and also feel very lucky to be part of this organization.
Yeah. Why did you choose On With Life?
Partly because I have a daughter that lives in the area.
Okay.
So I wanted to move closer with COVID to get closer to family.
Mm-hmm.
This opportunity came available. I was lucky enough to not only get interviewed for it, but also land the job.
Mm-hmm.
So very happy. My daughter lives about a mile down the road from me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I can still spoil her. I have one spoiled daughter, so I can spoil her when I need. But it's nice to be close to family.
Nice.
So when we say Dave, the IT guy, what exactly we were saying before in the intro, like IT, what does that mean? What does IT stand for?
Information technology.
You were right.
I did good.
Good job.
So when we think about IT and an organization, any organization, but like an organization like ours, what exactly is your
role,
and what does the IT guy mean?
The IT guy meaning would be we're here to support, collaborate, whatever technology needs and or systems that are in place. So I use the analogy, when you walk in the building in the morning, just like the electricity, you turn the light on, you expect it to work. Same thing with the technology here.
Yes, we expect it to work.
Yes.
We need it to work.
And when it doesn't, we're here to support you and help you and fix whatever is wrong.
Well, and really just in the grand scheme of things of healthcare and really anything anymore, everything is becoming so driven by IT needs, right? Like think of all of our equipment.
Well, our computers
the
alone.
medical records are
Yeah.
now all electronic. Like, I think you have some job security, Dave.
Yeah, well, you also have technology for the person served,
Mhm.
which is
Right.
really nice to see. And as you noted, as we go forward, if technology doesn't have their hands in it, they will at some point in
Yep.
time. And my goal here is to not only support that of us moving forward, but also to collaborate with you to see what your needs are, and to meet those needs.
And I think that's like a really, and we'll segue off that just a little bit, but I mean, really, you said the big word collaborate, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, so many organizations, the IT people just sort of are in their own realm of IT, right? Usually in the basement, somewhere with all these cords and
Lights
lights
down
running.
low, and
Lights,
yep.
I mean, but really what's different, I think, about On With Life and just, you know, what your role is that collaboration piece on so many different levels with so many organizations, but you're actually touching the person served as well.
Mhm.
I mean, you are interacting due to that technology component of what their needs are as person served. And I think that's like really pivotal
Mhm.
and very, very different than where you might get it in another organization
Yeah, and I
or
think
in
that-
another role.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I like this job, because I do get to interact, and I'm a big collaborator and always want to understand what your needs are and what direction we're going.
Yeah, you know, also I think whenever there's been volunteer opportunities, and so unique to you in the last 7 months, is like you just delved right
Mhm.
into any kind of volunteer opportunity. Like if there's something where the organization is doing something, I'll be like, oh, there's Dave the IT guy, he's there too, because you're totally involved in that.
Well, it's a learning experience for me, and I always love to learn, and the only way I know that is I'm a visual person,
Mhm.
but I also like to be hands-on. So any way I can get involved, not only helps me, but I feel helps the organization as
Yeah,
well.
That's awesome.
I love Dave the IT
So,
guy.
so one last question. What do you want, what would you want everybody to know about your department?
We're here to help.
Hmm.
We're here to support you. Whatever your needs are, please do not hesitate to call. I want to make sure that we are known, or we will build our collaborative unit
Mhm.
to make sure that we're supporting your needs both currently and whatever you have in the future.
That's awesome.
I mean, bam, drop the mic on that one. Dave from IT, I like that.
Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah,
We
thank
Thank
appreciate
you. If I need to make a cameo coming back, please invite me at any time.
It won't be a paid one at that point, but
That's
you
okay.
know. Bye guys, take care. We'll be
Bye.
seeing you in a few. Hey, it's Gail.
And Tammy.
So again, we're cruising the halls and we're looking for people to talk to so that we can teach you guys more about On With Life. And we found
Megan Erkey.
So hey, so you're Megan Erkey.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been here?
Well,
And
what does she do here?
I was gonna say, how long has she been here, and what does she do?
Well, I have been here just a little bit over 11 years, and I'm a speech language pathologist in the inpatient program for all those 11 years.
Oh, 11 years. So what's kept you coming back for 11 years?
Oh man, lots of things. I love the people we serve. I love the inpatient program and kind of the length of time compared to maybe some other places. We in our inpatient program get to keep people a little longer than a traditional inpatient program.
Okay.
So I love that, getting to know the person served, their families, and building those relationships, helping people through their rehab journey in that respect. I also love just the team, you know, the energy the team brings, and I love kind of, we're very transdisciplinary, and I think that makes me a better therapist. I'm a better speech therapist because I get the physical therapy side of things. I get the implications of the things I'm working on the bigger scope, and I think On With Life's very good at that piece.
We've kind of talked about, even just throughout the whole last year, a lot about transdisciplinary approach and kind of what that means.
Right.
And I think that just sort of embodies what On With Life does.
Exactly.
And it starts very early on in the inpatient side.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you want people to know about On With Life? What would be like that aha moment that you want them to know about what On With Life's all about?
You know, there are so many good therapists out there, On With Life and beyond. But I think one thing that sets On With Life apart is it truly feels like a family. And I think that connection we make with people, the time that they're here, the environment that is outside of a hospital, it feels different than in a traditional hospital, I think helps us build that family environment. We're started by families. I think that's carried through for all of us. I feel like that is in addition to the transdisciplinary kind of approach stuff, something that just sets us apart.
And I think
Does that
that
feel-
we see that across all of our programs,
Yeah.
which is what makes us
Right,
unique. Like,
right.
like we see that in the inpatient program, and you guys get to keep them for a long time. But I think what also makes us unique in our other programs is the fact that we see that in all of our programs.
Right.
We are able to bring kind of that special touch, and I think it's because, like you said, it goes back to where we started from,
Mhm.
and that was the
Exactly.
families that started us.
Yeah, like it doesn't just happen in inpatient, it just literally trickles all throughout everything
Right.
that we do.
Those
at
families
Untitled.
started us, and every program that has come since that original
Mhm.
program
Mhm.
has kind of carried that through.
It's kind of an important value that we have.
What do we need to know about your department specifically, inpatient rehab specifically? What do you really want our internationally syndicated audience to know?
Gosh, other than that, it feels like a family, and kind of our beginnings. I think some of the other things that are important to know is we have the intensity of any other inpatient hospital-based
Yeah.
program. You know, we're licensed as a skilled, which sometimes can make people feel a little different or think of it differently, but we do the same intensity as any inpatient hospital-based program for rehab.
And that actually, because you do that, actually gives us a longer length of stay.
Right. So
Which I
that
think is like that
combination-
caveat of
Yeah.
people don't get that.
Yeah, that was what I was getting
Sorry,
at.
I stole that from
Just
you.
interrupt me, Gail, it's
That's,
fine.
that's okay. I will.
No, but because we are licensed as a skilled,
Yeah.
it allows a longer length of stay, but we still provide that intensity that everybody else does. So, especially now with healthcare changes for everybody,
Yeah.
I think getting every ounce of therapy you can in that intensity before you move on to those next steps is great.
And then I
we
think
have
on the
that-
other flip side though, like if you have people that maybe have come in the disorders of consciousness
Mhm.
program and they can't tolerate the 3 hours of therapy because we're skilled, you can
Right.
back off and they still get that length of stay.
Right, yep.
So
we
like
have some
it kind of goes
flexibility.
on, it goes on both sides. And I
Mhm.
think that's certainly very unique
Yeah.
about inpatient.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the other thing I'd want people to know is the scope at which we can, in our inpatient program, serve. You know, we are a acquired brain injury facility, but we have people that started in disorders of consciousness, and we have people that come in really just fine-tuning some things as well, and maybe are a short length of stay before they move on to outpatient or the other services. But we do have a big scope, you know, and it's brain injury, TBI, stroke, other acquired
Other,
injuries,
yeah.
like that other category, you know, other neurological acquired injuries. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Megan, thank you for joining us and
Yeah.
teaching our internationally syndicated audience a little bit more about inpatient, what you do, and how special we continue to be. So,
Sure.
all right, it's Gail.
And Tammy.
And Megan.
Hey, we're back, Gail and
Tammy.
Woo. Check it out. We are cruising the halls of On With Life, and
I wouldn't even say we're cruising. I think we just were wandering.
Oh, because I was like, oh, cruising. Anyway, no, you were wandering. Okay.
I was wandering.
So anyway, our lovely nurse, Miss Bree, we found her and we were like, oh, we gotta talk to her.
We do, because like we told you, we're gonna introduce you to a bunch of different programs and a bunch of different people over this next year that work for On With Life. And so,
And making sure that we're showcasing all of our departments
Yeah.
so that you know everything there is to know about
Yeah.
On With Life.
yeah, so why don't we ask Bree our loaded questions.
What are they again?
Okay,
Sorry.
so our first question is, Bree, tell us how long you've worked at On With Life.
Well, I just had my 5-year anniversary.
Did you really?
That means you're a lifer now. Like
Yeah,
you're
probably,
here and
probably.
you're stuck.
Actually, you
Yeah.
signed the contract, right? To be a
you know,
lifer.
they haven't given me the contract yet, but
It's after
if they
this.
give it to me, I'll
Yeah.
sign it.
It depends on
that's
how viral this video goes.
fine. Exactly. If this
But-
makes me famous, I gotta stay, right?
But
That's
you
right.
actually have a really interesting story because you just became a nurse.
I did just become a nurse. It's just not even quite a year yet.
Yeah.
So I started here 5 years ago as a CNA, which is a kind of funny story because one of the nurses here, I used to work at Panera actually,
Okay.
and one of the nurses here ordered Panera. I delivered it. I saw this place. I was just going to CNA school, taking my CNA classes, and I was like, this place is kind of cool. I should check this out. And I was checking the job board and found it. So I was like, well, I'll apply. And 5 years later, here I am. Got
Okay,
my-
now that is
Yeah.
so cool. I did
Yeah.
not know that
And
story.
you've been a CNA, you've worked for our R&R program,
I have.
and you're a nurse.
Yep.
Like, you just checked it all out.
What else do you want to do then? What do you want to do when you grow up?
You know, I would love to. I've thought about like possibly being a DON at some
Nice,
point.
which is director of nursing.
It is,
which is
yeah.
a big deal. I could see that actually.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. The other thing I was thinking about is possibly nurse practitioner. I don't know.
You know, that's even
We'll
cooler.
see. We'll see
Yeah,
what the
very
future
cool.
holds.
So what's cool is that Bree's got ambition. I like that. I like that.
Yes.
Okay, what's the other question? Because I forgot that one too.
So when you think about why On With Life, what makes you stay? Why did you know, we know your story now of how you came to hear about us and how you started, but why do you stay?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's because of us.
Oh, I'm sure.
Obviously,
Right.
obviously,
Obviously,
yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. I mean, getting to work firsthand with you.
I know.
How can I not
Right.
say? But I mean, really, it's the people. I love the people that I work with. I have worked, you know, a couple different jobs, and this is honestly, I've loved all the people that I've worked with. It really feels more like a family here, which is why I was so excited when they allowed me to come back and be a nurse here after I graduated. And I just really love this patient, like the patient base here, right? The patient population. Brain injury is a very unique field. I've always been really interested in like the brain and how it works and all those things, and to just kind of fall into this here. It's a very like niche group.
Yeah.
It's different than a lot of other things, but it's really cool too. I mean, we get to see, like as nurses, especially, like I get to see everything, right? We work with trachs, we work with G-tubes, we work with just like all of these like complex things, right? Like, and I see them all here. Like that's not at the hospital, right? Like we're doing all of this stuff here hands-on. I've learned a lot just in
It's
this
almost
last
like
year.
you have to be a jack of all trades
do.
because of the level of complexity.
You do, yeah.
So if you were like working on just an acute care ortho floor, somebody
Right.
had hips and knees, it would be relatively, you
Yeah,
know,
it's
I
just-
want to say cookie
it's-
cutter, but
but
it might be
kinda,
relatively cookie cutter. But here, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's almost like a box of Cracker Jack. You don't know what you're gonna get inside with your prize.
Wow. That was.
You like that at 8 o'clock in the
very,
morning?
Very
That was good,
deep.
that was good.
Okay.
That was very deep.
So the other question is, if people don't know a whole lot about On With Life, what do you feel is most important to tell them about On With Life? What do they need to know?
I feel like you need to know that this very much it's different than a lot of other places. You know, I did preceptorship at the hospital, some different nursing homes, things like that, and it's kind of sterile, right? Like you go in there, you do your job. You know, people kind of come and go. But here, you know, like we really make it a point to get to know the families, to get to know the person served, their stories, kind of what makes them tick, really figure out like how we can best help them, you know, get back to what they want to be doing. And I really enjoy seeing that like progress of somebody comes in, and then how they end up leaving here.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool to see all the progress that they make.
Like they come in on a gurney because they're
Yeah.
coming from the hospital typically.
Yes.
Come in on
Yes.
a gurney and you get the privilege to watch them walk out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's
So,
very cool.
one last question.
Yes.
So, what do you want everybody to know about your department?
Oh yes.
About my department.
Now
you
don't
know,
spill the beans. Like don't do that.
Don't give away all the trade secrets.
Yeah. Or the gossip. That's really
That-
not what the
that's fair.
question was
All
about.
right. I don't know. I think that we have a really, really great department. We obviously, like, a lot of this requires a lot of teamwork. We've got a lot of persons served here, and so, you know, we all need to be on the same page about what care looks like and all those kinds of things. So there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of teamwork happening, and really there's no other way to make it work. And that family feel that we try and foster with our person served, we really try and foster with ourselves as well. So I don't know, I just really love working with the people I work with.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks for introducing yourself to everybody.
I know, this is Miss Bree. And you know what? We were cruising the hall. We were like, Bree, you're next. Yeah. Oh, wait. You wanted to do the Gail, Tammy, and the Bree?
Bree.
Bye, guys. Thank you. We're back. We found somebody else to pick on. It's Gail.
And Tammy.
Hello, hello. So we have sitting here one of our OTs and outpatient, Miss Emily. So you tell us your name, how long you've been here, what do you do? I mean, pretty much everything. Spill the beans.
Okay. My name is Emily Summerfield. I have been an outpatient since 2017. I also worked in inpatient for about a time. Thought I needed a sabbatical, left to be closer to home, and then now I'm back because I love On With Life so much.
Everybody always comes back.
This is
You
very
need
true.
to realize
This is very
that.
true.
You always come back.
I am an OT. I'm also one of the clinical team leads with Gail over here. We help Tammy out with some of the day-to-day stuff.
So it's kind of like, as I said before, the Three Stooges right
Kind of,
here.
yeah.
I'm not a stooge.
Okay, the Two Stooges and the boss lady.
Larry, Curly, and Mel.
So, Em, tell us why On With Life. Why did you choose On With Life? I mean, obviously you took your sabbatical and came back, so there must be a reason.
Absolutely. I chose to come back to On With Life for sure because of the culture. We don't have a lot of immediate family in the area, and this like family here is literally like a work family. It's like a second home for me. So I definitely came back because of the culture, and I love neuro. I've only done neuro since becoming an OT, and so I really couldn't see myself treating in any other population besides neuro.
Okay. So, what is it you want people to know about On With Life? When you think about On With Life as a whole, what are the things you want our audience to know about us?
And our internationally syndicated audience who doesn't know anything about us.
Okay. I would say, I mean, of course, we always put person-serving families first. The one thing that I like to tell families and friends is that we're kind of like this Disney World effect, where there's so much that goes on behind the scenes for person-serving families. And it truly is like Disney World around here. We like to have fun. We like to bring a lot of fun with person-serving families.
We like to dress up.
We like to dress up. We like to think of like outside the box as far as like creative treatment ideas. And that's what I love about On With Life. There's never one day is the same. We really enjoy what we do here, and I hope that you guys can tell that too when you guys walk into our doors.
So I would say that I know what I think is awesome about our department, but what should this audience also know about outpatient?
I would say, I think it goes back to, I think all of us are experts in some way in regards to neuro, but then what I love about our crew the most is just that all those out of the box thinking ideas that they come up with. I mean, there's sometimes where we may not have a piece of equipment, but I mean, by all means, like our staff put our brains together and we figure out a way to kind of simulate whatever that may be for the person served. And I think that's what I love about our staff the most, is that they're so creative, and they come up with such the coolest ideas as far as treatment goes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the whole big equipment, fancy equipment, because people don't have that at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're really, really cool about figuring out what's most functional for that person, and mocking it or simulating it or going out in the community and doing it. So
absolutely,
I agree with that.
Well, as long as Gail agrees.
Because we know who it's all about. All right. Awesome. I'm so glad we got to talk to Miss Emily from Outpatient. So we're signing out. Gail.
And Tammy.
and Emily.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Hey, it's Gail.
And Tammy.
This time we road tripped.
We
didn't
did.
We got in the car. We road tripped. We're like, we're going to go see some more people out and about in the
Yeah,
On
we
With
might
Life.
stop for lunch on the way home, and yeah, who knows? We'll
Grab some more coffee, perhaps. Okay, but where are we?
Oh, where are we?
Yeah.
We're at the R&R house.
The
See-
Rest and Relaxation House? Isn't that what R&R stands
Well,
for?
luckily we have two people here that can talk to us about it. So we have Josie and Sam. Let's ask them,
We
because
should ask them. We
that's
should
what
steal
we
the show.
are here for, right?
Yep.
So what does R&R stand for, girls?
Rest and Relaxation.
I wish.
Residential neuro rehabilitation.
Say that one more time.
Residential neuro rehabilitation.
Okay. That's a loaded word. What does that mean?
Short-term residential facility where you're still able to get that rehab that you sort of kind of get in inpatient, just more in a residential setting.
Nice. Good, excellent.
I like that.
All right, girls,
Yes.
now before we go any further, we really probably need to introduce these girls so that people know who they're talking to.
Or they can introduce themselves.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you guys go ahead and tell us who you are and how long you've been in On With Life?
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'm Sam Braune. I have been on a life for almost 8 years now. Started off as a physical therapist assistant and transitioned to the residential services manager about 6 months ago.
Good.
So I've been here since.
Yay.
Nice. What about you, lady?
My name is Josie, and I'm the residential support supervisor. And I've been at On With Life for 6 years. I started in the community services program, and then I came to R&R about 4 years ago.
Great.
Awesome. Well, we're lucky to have you guys, so thank you for doing what you do. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, what do you think with our live syndicated international audience? What do you think that you want them to know about On With Life? What's important for you to express about On With Life and what they should know?
I don't know if many people really even know much about R&R as a whole, but we are an extension of On With Life. So all of the principles of On With Life we carry out here as well. A little bit of a different setting, but we are still very person served focused. Every person served who is here has a discharge plan of going home, and it is our job to try and help them reach those goals.
Great.
I like that. What about you? What do you think they need to know about On With Life?
Yeah, On With Life is not just the inpatient program. On With Life is so much more than that. There's community services, residential, outpatient. We have more than one facility. There's just lots and lots that's involved in On With Life, and On With Life does a lot of great things because of it.
Yeah, like a lot of people think, I think that they just think that we're a rehab facility, inpatient rehab facility. And really why we're road tripping is so that we can let everybody know about On With Life just in general and all of our little different pockets that we have.
The continuum of rehab that we offer.
Yeah, for sure. So what about your department specifically that you just think it's really important to let our live international syndicated audience know about your department?
I think everybody that suffers whatever type of brain injury, stroke, traumatic accident, their ultimate goal is to go home, return to the life that they had before, return to some sort of purpose. And coming here to R&R, you get to practice in just that type of setting. Everything is home-based. Our kitchens, our bathrooms, everything looks like you're at home, so that's what we practice, and that's the ultimate goal that we strive for.
I think from an inpatient setting and even an outpatient setting, they try and replicate the residential setting that we actually have here. So it's a really good step and a really good tool for our person served.
Yeah, I agree, Sam and Josie, both what you said, but I think this provides like that, it's kind of in a sense like almost like a safety net because you're allowed to be able to push people to do that residential stuff, but they still have some support if they need it for that time that they're here. And I think it's been a great addition to the continuum of care that we have to be able to work with people.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, as an outpatient therapist, we work really well with the rest and relaxation house. We work really, really well with you guys in that, we sort of establish things that we think that they might be able to do, and you guys are the ones that are helping the person served carry it over. And that's really the only way that we can have people continuously get better is because of what you do here at the R&R house. So,
well, and I think the other key thing is they get to see it at all hours of the day.
yes.
So when they come to
yes.
outpatient, for instance, it's for this block of time. And if it's their good time of day, we see them doing really good, but then they come and they get to practice those things and have the supports at all hours of the day in this setting. Yep. Cool.
Awesome.
Great.
I'm so glad we got to road trip
I
to the
know.
R&R house and talk to you guys. All right, so where are we up to next? I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned so you can find out where we venture out next to.
Yay.
All right, it's Gail.
And Tammy. And
Sam, Josie.
Hey, it's Gail.
And Tammy.
We're out cruising the halls and we found somebody else to pick on.
We did. We found Anna.
Hi.
Anna, tell us a little bit about yourself. yourself. What program do you come from? And who are you?
And what do you
My name's
do?
Anna.
And what's your social security number? No, just kidding.
It ends with no.
No.
My name's Anna. I've worked here for about 6.5 years. I come from the Supported Community Living Program and the Owl Creek Apartments next door.
Okay.
So I do the scheduling and all the administrative fun stuff.
You
So
get the real fun
yeah,
stuff.
I make the schedules for our staff and kind of keep track of appointments and everything.
So when I hear the word supported community living, what does that mean exactly? Because I'm not sure that our internationally syndicated audience would know what that means.
Yeah, so supported community living is for persons sort of that have received the brain injury from Iowa. And so we go into their homes and help them get to doctor's appointments, go grocery shopping. They each make a plan each year with their case manager
Okay.
and their care team, and we help try and
So they have to
achieve those
have the
goals.
waiver to be able to get services?
We
Usually.
do private pay, or we have some county funded
Okay.
individuals too.
Perfect.
And then you said the apartments. Where are what are
Yeah,
those?
the apartments are just next door to Untitled.
Okay.
So we have 14 units, and they're all for people with brain injury or other neurological conditions. So we've got a
And they
good
live
group of people.
independently
They
there.
do.
Okay.
But a lot of the people who actually live in the apartment actually get SEL services too.
Yes,
Yeah.
probably over half of them.
So it's a good little marriage thing.
I love it. It's like its own little community within
It
the
is.
community there. I love
They
it.
all know each other. They chat. They watch
No.
TV.
They got the
things like
down
that.
low on everybody.
Yes, they do.
So I think the other thing that we want to know is, so you work here, how long have you worked here, and why do
Yeah.
you work here? I think that was
Yeah.
one of the questions, because I don't listen.
Well, she already said she's been here 6.5 years.
Shoot, I don't listen. Anyway, why are you still here, and what do you love about it?
I came here. I actually worked in retail before this, but
A little different?
yeah, human services have always interested me, just my whole life essentially. And I've just been here, time flies by. So I've still been here and developing different roles and everything. So
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Well, we love that you're still here.
Thanks.
So, tell us a little bit about what you want people to know about SCL services.
Yeah, I would say for SCL, On With Life starts here in inpatient, now outpatient, and yeah, over here. SCL is for, we've had some of our persons serve for 15 years, so
Oh,
we're
wow.
that continued care for people that can't fully be independent after their initial brain injury, so.
Just need that little extra support.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
hopefully they're still living on their own.
Yes, yeah,
Perfect.
and that's our ultimate goal, is to keep people living on their own, if that's their desire,
Yeah.
so.
And then their last question for you, Anna, is what do you want people to know about your department?
Our department, our staff is great. A lot of them have been here for a long time, but they really get to know persons served, obviously, if we have them for
Yeah.
years and years and years. So they're very good at learning persons served and their desires and how to work with them and achieve those goals. So they're very good at that.
Yeah, and I would say of the individuals that because we get to work a lot hand in hand with the STL staff
Yeah.
and with the person served, and it really is cool to see that bond. Like, so-and-so is gonna be coming today and everybody's excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's just that, it's almost like developing a friendship, but almost, like a family member kind of relationship.
Yeah,
So-
some of them don't have a lot of family. Either they've just grown apart from their family or their family's just not involved. So a lot of them rely on our staff to be that support, so.
That's awesome. Well,
Very
we
cool.
love what your department does and brings to On With
Thank you.
Life. So, thanks for taking the time to visit
You're
with us this
welcome.
morning and tell us
One
a little
more
bit about-
facet of the On With Life umbrella.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
There's
facets.
a lot of it. There is, right? So we have to do the Gail, the Tammy, and then the Anna. So you gotta come up with something, okay?
Oh, gosh.
All right,
Okay.
so thank you, Gail.
And Tammy.
And Anna!
Yay! Bye, guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Hey, it's Gail and Tammy. We drove virtually, woo,
Honk, honk, honk.
to the eastern
This
to
for
the
you.
eastern side.
Get out of my way.
Left-handed drivers, anyway, left-sided drivers, anyway. So we drove all the way to the eastern side of the state to visit our friends in Coralville. And today we have Miss Paula. Hi, Paula. Tell us who you are, what you do, how long you've been here. Tell us your life story.
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for inviting me back to your show.
I know you were one of the first guests that we ever had on the Gail and Tammy show, so we would like to invite our alumni back.
Well, she helped contribute to our success.
She did. Yeah,
That's right. So thanks for having me back. My name is Paula Duve, and I'm a physical therapist at On With Life.
So how long have you been with On With Life?
I have been with On With Life for about 3.5 years now. I started in our Ankeny campus and worked mainly in inpatient and a little bit in outpatient there. And then when we opened our new Coralville clinic about 2 years ago, I moved here to help get things going here.
And you've been there ever since.
And you've done a fine job in Coralville. Go Paula, go Paula. All right. So our live internationally syndicated audience, what do they need to know about On With Life? What makes us so unique in your opinion, or what's your aha about On With Life?
Yeah, I think great question, first of all. I think what makes On With Life so special is that, first of all, we specialize in neuro, and I mean, the people that work here, we love that. That's what we do. And so it kind of creates this family feel around here because everybody loves what they're doing every day. And we kind of delve in deep to the people we work with and kind of help get them through what they're going through and help them reach their goals.
I like that. Yeah, we like it, live, eat, breathe neuro. We love it. Eat it up. Passionate about it.
Yes.
Very excited.
So what do you want people to know about Coralville specifically? Like if you said, this is what's really cool about Coralville, what would it be?
Yeah, I think one thing that's really exciting about Coralville is that we're newer, right? We're kind of the babies of the On With Life family. And so we're all here trying to build up this program, and again, are really eager to get this thing started. So when you come here, one of the most common things we've heard from people is they love the easy access. So we're located in one building. It's easy parking. You can come in. It's one-stop shop to get your PT, OT, speech, counseling needs. And then along with that, you get that family feel. Because we're smaller, we connect with not only persons served, but their family and extended family. And I think that brings up something special to the clinic here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's kind of cool. I also think that where you're located, sort of smack dab in between some of the other inpatient rehabs, I think it's super duper unique, and it's easy access off of the interstate.
It's really close to the mall.
Oh, it's close to the mall.
And you can
TJ
go
Maxx.
and you can go to ice skating at that mall there. Like, and there's some great places to get some food.
Right.
I mean, you got
a
prime location.
Totally have prime location.
Exactly. And just say, yeah, all the resources we have in this area here, right? So there's a lot of those other resources and fun things to do, but now we get to bring the therapy piece here as well.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, Paula, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very, very excited for the great things that are happening over in Coralville, and you are certainly one of the big parts of that success. So you go, girl. Anyway, it's Gail
and Tammy
and Paula.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Hey, guys, Gail
and Tammy.
We've been driving on the interstate. We went west.
Virtually driving.
Well, I mean, we drove on the interstate and we found our friends in Glenwood. Well, friend. Hi, friend.
Well, we have all kinds of friends.
We have all sorts of friends, but we found our friend Jeremy over in Glenwood.
Yes. And so, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about you. Introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been On With Life.
Of course, my name is Jeremy Davis, and I've been On With Life for almost 4 years. I'm a rec therapist, and basically what that means is I take fun and exciting new approaches to therapy. We just find leisure opportunities and recreation opportunities and then use that to achieve therapeutic outcomes.
So wait, you mean like as me as a PT, I'm a physical torturer, and then you get to come along and do all the fun stuff?
Yep, pretty much. And we actually will say, hey, this is more fun than PT. Try to get them over to our side, and it usually works. But yes, some people are a glutton for that punishment and they prefer it. But most of our folks enjoy fishing and playing video games and doing range of motion that way. And that's our approach usually.
So you're trying to sneak in your job on my job by doing the fun stuff.
Yeah, we don't even really tell them it's therapy. We just let's have fun, and then we don't really, and they just think they're having fun, and little do they know they're actually doing therapy in the process. So it works.
So, you go ahead.
Thanks.
You go ahead.
So I hear that you have something really cool that you've added to the Glenwood campus for your person served and to enjoy when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So recently there was a fundraiser done. We had some generous gifts from our local community, especially, and we actually had a lot of help even from Ankeny and some donations over that way. But we purchased a bicycle, motorized assist, and this bicycle is very different in that it allows our person served to be in a wheelchair in front of the bike. Most of the experiences are you're trailing them behind you, so they're looking at your backside most of the time, and don't get a really, you're blocking the wind. So this is very cool because all of our person served, no matter even if they have a power wheelchair, we have another wheelchair that they can get into, and they can get on this, and they can actually get the wind blowing in their face, and they're right out in front. And very excited. We have been using it already, even though we kind of got it later in the year. We took advantage and got it out as much as possible. We actually had it out about a month ago.
Wow.
Awesome.
We had a real nice day.
Yeah.
And so we figured, why not? And it's been a lot of fun. We want to eventually get some more funding to get a trailer, maybe possibly, to take it to our local bicycle trails. We have a lot of trails around us. And we'd love to have access to those trails eventually.
You need to do RAGBRAI.
We would actually be up for that. It's something we've talked about doing a segment of it in the past, and if we ever had a person serve that certainly wanted to do that,
Yeah.
we have a tool. We have exactly what we need to do it. So
maybe you could put Boo in the trailer, and the person served in front.
Yeah.
So you better
Boo can ride.
Wait a second. You're talking about Boo. Who's Boo?
That's what I was just gonna say. Who's Boo?
Well, I don't have Boo with me today. I apologize. This is the one few days she had to stay home. So that's our rec therapist dog. She's really a therapy dog, but we call her part of the team. So she's our rec therapy dog. And she is an English retriever, and she's about 3 years old, and she is just the sweetest bundle of joy. She's just such a delight to be with. She goes around and does pet therapy in-house, and she's here, 5 to 6 days a week. And she just likes to go around and see her people on her own. And then also she goes with us and does our therapies as well. And again, we use her as a tool to invite people to have fun, and also encourage them to, do some things that maybe normally they wouldn't want to do. So it's pretty exciting, pretty fun. And I'll be doing a presentation with her at our conference in April, and she'll be there in person. So you guys will get a little more information and be able to see her.
You do know she's probably going to get all the attention at the conference. And
that's good.
Oh, okay.
It's really short. I'm just basically going to bring her up there and introduce her, and then do a couple tricks, and then let her go around and do the rest. Just
there you go.
Wait for the applauses.
So Jeremy, what the question that we've been asking everybody as we've been cruising around is, what do you really think that you want people to know about On With Life? Like the aha moment that's kind of different for you, or what do you just think that's so important about On With Life that you've got to express to our very big audience?
Well, I know it's a national syndicate here. We got to go
international. Sorry, we just got
international. You went up a notch. It was honestly hard for me to narrow this down, but out of respect, I'm going to keep it at one thing, and that is that On With Life invests in people, and whether that's the people that live here or the people that serve here, they're always investing in continuing education. They are willing to maybe staff better than what is the normal standard, what rest of the facilities and other places are doing. They are willing to bring people in at extra cost just to make sure that our persons served are getting the therapy and the services that they need. And I've never worked for a company like this that's invested so heavily in people, to be honest.
That's a great answer.
I know, it should be like a marketing something or other. Good job, Jeremy. I like that.
So last question is, what do you want people to know specifically about Glenwood?
again, I had a hard time narrowing this down, but this point also relates to the first one, and that is that Glenwood, here we do outstanding out of the box things just like Ankeny does. And you know, things like kayaking, taking people to the shooting range, reuniting families with their loved ones, their daughters, funerals, Christmas. I mean, we do life with these people to the extreme because we are staffed so well, and we just are very fortunate that they believe in what we do here enough to support this program. And so I just think you will not find a place like this in Mills County whatsoever. And we're just excited about that.
That kind of gave me chills. I know. Well, I mean, and even as he's saying that, yeah, you're west on 80, and then we've got our Ankeny campus here, and then we've got our Eastern people in Coralville, and I think the message is all the same, right? Like, it just is, we are so unique in the things that we do. It's kind of like utopia in terms of, the therapy and the services that we can provide. And go, Jeremy. I like what you have to say.
Thank you both. And like I said, it's just, it's a joy to work here. So I plan on being here for a very long time.
Got another lifer.
We do.
Yeah.
So let us end our segment.
Yes.
So Jeremy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
So thanks, guys. It's Gail.
Tammy.
Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
See you guys. Take care.
All right, it's Gail.
And Tammy.
We have cruised all over On With Life looking for people to talk to, and we stumbled across our CEO, Miss Jean Shelton. Yes. Drum roll. All right, so here's the things that we want to know. First of all, Miss Jean, who are you? How long have you been here?
Well, as you said, I'm Jean Shelton. I'm the CEO for On With Life. I've been here 4 years, 4 wonderful long years.
Wonderfully long, short years.
Yes.
That's great. So what do you do? What is your job as a CEO? What do you get to do? Do you just sit behind your desk and look pretty? What?
Oh, well, I wish. What I do is, I look at and oversee how we're implementing our strategy. So, I support our operations, but I'm always, really a big portion of my job is to be thinking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
How are we doing today? How did we do yesterday? And what are we going to be or do tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really a big gist of my work. In addition to that, I do a lot of external networking, advocacy for On With Life, whether it's with the Brain Injury Council or with ACRM or other entities. I'm out there trying to make sure On With Life is a recognized, well-respected facility.
And here for a long time into the future.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
Well, right, and I even think about the 4 years that you have been here have definitely been directed for future forward. And I, as a therapist who's been here for a bit, appreciate that, because we really are going to be future forward, and what does it look like for us well into the future. And so a lot of that's from your direction there.
Yeah, and it's hard, especially in times like now, where we have a pandemic or we have other stressors going on. It's hard to explain to some of our team members why I'm thinking about 10 years from now. But if we don't start thinking about 10 years from now, then we won't have that future plan. So yes, we have to manage our daily life and all of the stressors that we deal with every day here, which the staff handles with such resilience, and they're just beautiful. But the bottom line is I have to be looking for the future for everybody's sake.
Yeah, and in the case of right now, we actually have some big things happening right now. Do you want to share with everybody what we have going on?
Of course. Well, we are in the midst of a capital campaign. We are going to add a new outpatient facility. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. It will have state-of-the-art equipment, but more importantly, state-of-the-art staff. I mean, that's really what we're going to fill that building with is the...
Wait, we're going to get new employees
No,
then? Just
no,
kidding.
no.
That was a lot of a job.
It's, buildings are nice, but without the right people, it's just a building. So
So true.
We're working to give our staff more room to do what they do best, which is serve our people, and they're just awesome. So I'm really excited about this. We hope to break ground sometime in early spring, and watch for more news about that.
Yeah, and also at the same time, we'll be modifying some of the inpatient to give them more space too. So by moving us out from outpatient allows inpatient to expand as well, and that is going to be, I know they will appreciate that too.
They're very excited.
So,
They're
yeah.
going to have, we're going to have more private restrooms. Currently we have several rooms that share restrooms, so we're gonna shift that around, and we're also ensuring there's adequate oxygen and suction built into the walls, which is a huge need that we identified during COVID, and we are responding to that as rapidly as we can.
So when you think about our live syndicated international audience, you as the CEO, what would you like them to know about On With Life? That's sort of like that aha defining moment that maybe they don't know, but you want to tell people about On With Life.
Well, I think most people know just how amazing On With Life is. I trust that. I hear that every day when I'm out in the community. But what I want everybody to know about On With Life is that it is a living, breathing, evolving entity that continues to grow and expand and build on expertise in such a way to make sure we're always ready for the future and always ready to meet the needs of our persons served.
Well said.
That is
I like
well
that.
said.
Yeah. No wonder you got your job.
Yeah.
I like that.
So then when you think about the corporate role, what do you want people to know about, and other employees, what do you want them to know about the corporate, the role of the corporate employees?
Well, the corporate employees have been pretty amazing this year and the past year especially, because we all fall under that other duties as assigned list, and
you guys have done that a lot this last year.
we have,
Yeah.
whether it's cleaning a room to get rooms turned around, or serving lunch in the kitchen, or
acting like CNAs,
pretending, not pretending, but supporting our CNAs, things like that, you know, so we're all over the place, and we're not only like the #1 fans of all of the clinical team, but we're there to support them however is needed. So we do a lot of behind the scenes work, and I don't think that we feel unappreciated in any way, but the real stars are our clinical team members and those that serve our persons served, and we're happy to cheer them on from behind and keep them going.
Yeah, I don't think you guys get the credit that you deserve, because without such a giving and there for us corporate team, we wouldn't be able to support the clinical team like we do. And I think that makes us unique. Like, there's no big structure in place here. It's like you're over there in the midst of all of it with us, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think that you see that throughout the corporate team. No one is in too high of a position or too good to answer the phones or clean something up off the floor or whatever it needs. We're going to be there.
No, I mean, it really speaks volumes, and I think that's truthful in terms of when we think of bigger hospital systems. You know, we are so unique to be this smaller but mighty entity where we can be first name basis with all of the employees and the corporate staff and all in it together. So there's not like these tiers and these lines. It's I like a potpourri.
Very well said.
It's like a potpourri of people. All right, guys. So we've met the bigwig, Miss Jean Shelton, our CEO. So it's Gail
and Tammy
and Jean signing out.